So inena umfabwino sana, justice has prevailed. Because mwana bale pera wali kukalamba sana ndinshali kono kuba upato fe bwa abantu ndanga bali kupata fe abantu ati wabaso bakubika fe bali kupera fe Milan. So justice ile bomba bwino sana mzambi Natasha
wa Augustine tumalanda kuna moya
nalanda kuna totera sana mkwai bantu kulingana na ino musango banjikatire mu bampere umulandu kukalamba sana owakufa kubikendike mu busanzo ero ichide cyakira ndati uyu mulandu bampere ero banjikete owakuka kwa myaka 15 kufika fena kufira mu kifungo no mbo kusangwa kwa bati abanjikete kuntwala mu kukoti tapali nangumo wanu mbulapo kuteko nali nangu mulimo nangumo nabombereko pakubike ndeke mu busanzo. So ichira tujaro shapo chebero uyu muntu lufyengo kansha abantu bonse tabale tulumbula mu mulya kulingana nefo batwele mukoti kwa twale bika ndeke mu busanzo ali mukubike ndeke mu busanzo tapali nangu chimo chirela ngo kwa twale pakubike ndeke mu busanzo echo kan talife mu lufyengo ngefine fatira ndo mulandu kutila ifu echo hatu ikatire mu musango wako ati twaba kuntanchi ukutungirira intungulushi Yesu Stephen Kampyongo mu butungulushi bo bakwata muno mu Shiwang'andu kuleto buyantanshi ifu twaliringa okulatungirira omuntu uleto buyantanshi kunche ndeko muleikala pantu nishina muno kwa bati buyantanshi aleleta wa muntu uli wonse umikala cyalo kuchitisha pofemena Shiwang'andu ucho chine pantu ali kufofula ntia kutungirira uli omuntu echo bashire bulana ina banjikatiramo bambika mukoti nomba mukwaika nti ichiriye lupe lwajwe kuperurula aho lwasensa basangwe kwati ndi wakaire navumina kunse kubantu banandi nokutwalirira okutungirira buyantanshi bantunga kwamba kulatungirira efishirira buyantanshi twakabombena kali ayo natotete
Ubyendi namukwateshita eyo mwapokolo echano eyo mwingatendekera okubombera abantu notukuchusha abantu muri uno musango lesa tefintu afaya ngakwali chimfulunganya kunanikane bafuile baishi baba
bala sansa
Kampyongo takafume iwe lelo chikunyonge
Abantu zenu ku.
Mwana bakwalesa ala ini amashiwe ishikwe
Apa ni kuat dah aku. Kalau ni mama itu ke bapa. Bailo ndio bapa.
ala kwena mbakabwa bali chifye mwabo mbamwe bana bakwalesa nga mwamwena kumutira noma mwalishu wangefe chaba lyonse alo bufi bulano kubwela mwe bantu bakwalesa tabakatali abafyengo omuntu tamakatale amufyengo alesa na imini na kisuminisha lesa lalo lesha imilimo ba MP wasuba Kampyongo babombele myeyo y'abantu lesa lilo lesha pamyeyo y'abantu ilelila pamilimo eyo bafufishe abana bengi abalwele bambi balifuila mono kufuila kumunandu wakutila ili ishita ba Kampyongo bali no kuyabula uli omwana kumutwala kuchipatala baleisa kukulubulula ili ishita ba Kampyongo bali no kuyakulichili echililo bae bashiki omuntu ba Kampyongo balebeta kulubulula ala mwe bana bakwalesa pepa shiri pakuleka na tukwalilira okwikatana n'okwikatirira n'okutungirira ba Kampyongo kyaba mu mwewo wakwa Kampyongo kikululese kyabikamo ala kikala mbetolese abikamo mulafufya emirimu mwashe emirimu yakule yakose omulingiri okubomba tikatuya tumoni oko omwana wa muntu alekiwulira mwasuka mwafikirisha ukufuma oyu mwaka mwisa fieta mwatala mutendo tamwatala munaka ala n'omwana wenu wine chatanakila pakumibombela ini nkoseleshwe ikulwe omwalanga pamenso y'abantu na pamenso yakwalisa bantu ichitemu ikoye ichichine mwalanga echapwiririka tekutemu afye MP wenu ili wali munsansa ili wale mipela ili wale milisha baba mubuchushu mwataluka imota mwatala mutaluka nango ushiku bumo ale edila na imo mule edila alale nsala mwalale nsala lelo mwaneni uluse lwa mwine amule mutela pepa shiripa twapulekana atotela sana ala natotela kutisha kwa bana mayo uyo mwa ulingiro kwatana mayo na bashitata bene twali yani kututungirira ala amakani pabwato twikatane
Simbo ni votu abaponi
Pabwato.
Umbenga mumina pali Kampyongo mwamona mulekio kulanda pantu mulanje na kumweo ala umotuka mulopola tukamukulemi bwabwa bantu ilo twasalile ifota twashibete twalelo leshano kumona nangumomelo ya mukupasa lapo mwana kashiumo nishipalie chako nkeleko kuli ulio mwana kashi na ifo kuli kapodio twakonkako mweo ne chikuku mwana wakwaleza ala kutiwa atupushe fiebo kutiwa tuke mfumu na totela sana mkwai mkwai lekeni kwena mami poshe ba honorable wesu
Nakusalo kubo mubonfiwa ndi mwibala Tata Ibate chinse muliribala Ubele chikuku muliribala Ubombe chitoku mwibala Achikuku boko kwa kuyo tata Ekonga lilo kuyanga na bomba wino kwa kuyo tata Ekonga bilo kuyanga na bomba wino Esa shifwe alefwa balungami Naine tata umike ponga na bomba wino Esa shifwe alefwa balungami Naine tata umike ponga na bomba wino Mwashuka shani bonse mkwai Ala mkwai ndesila Lelo bonse muline nsansa Ichakubalila po Nde mitotela fie Chine teimome kama wasakamana Shiwang'andu lyonse lyabili yasakamana wali uyu munyololo bankobeke mu nkoshi twawinine mwansala amavoti ayashayifulire chine bantu ala kukoti bebele tawawinine bwino ichile chebele we wawinaniwe bombela abantu batumpika mufimbi lelo leso mwine alishofateanya ine nshiliwane nukapano mule mbona ndifengeli bwe echo ndefa afye bampele kwenchende mwibombele milimo mwibombela wale tila ine na le chite fya bului mbo wa bului mushenga na musale mikwita tona mavoti asha lelo mkwahi tulelo mba echo ndengilo mbela ko femu mwe bantu wakwalesa chakutila namkwati obutekwatini ubwatula efintu ifingi atini efo tulefwayo kumbona ukuthi afibo umufundo kese bwangu imitengo ibale traikabe ya bwatala le ile pamulu na ibwere efi bombo buteko tebo vina uje kula tintanya abantu kabale bo kutuka kairo imitengo ikabwele kuti batutwala mu kifungo bakwa tumwe bantu mwakala ko bwino ibaza twakwatano mwenso yo ndebra zokutira bantu bishamu bale fufya milimo batiro kufya milimo tarifu manga ndolana iya lilifu fya milimo lero mapepo yenu na masali yenu ichipondo cha chitire milandu echo baleta nkoti chala imina na kuteko nishimano ayo ndero mbana bakapokola mukala mbokutira bakapokola baletuma mukubomba pa milandu babe bakapokola abashininkana bera lya fyenda lama ukura endenda lama sharutu bale makulusa ko kwisa kono mukutefya bupuba bale isale pondo efya chitire milandu efremi na mkoti nishamano efyo mukwai bakulekeresha nde milomba fyo kutila ichipani cha PF ichipani chenu chichiri chipani chenu nokumwebo kutila ifimule mwebo kutefe tukakwate ntungulushi alalesa katupele ntungulushi ya kutungulula ichipani basata abashimpwile chipani balishile tusha lesa basunge mu chibote twasakamana ukuti chipani chala ya kwi lesa isapala twatupela baetiga lungu na runo ruine lesa katupala tukakwata kateko washininkana tupele ko fyaka shitabu ino bwino tupelulule bantu bambi ni babungwa bambi ni bachenda na mwela tulefayo omuntu wakuti anatushiningana nankwe ngaba intungulushi twasunga mwe bantu bwino efyo basata balefwaya ukwaye bachenga bupere aba bana ile mfumu musengere wachela ala bachepa mukwai ala mwali ntungirire mwilandu yapwa ile batutwele ne hii asuka yacha shani nefyo wale tukutafi nefimbi ala wofi ne tukapita na kwete shuko ndetotela na bakateka baitiga lungu lesale basunga mu kibote bampere milimo yakusunga omutende wa chalo ne chalo lo ababo kuteko twapela twabapele chalo ekituntulu useni shabo mbele babombe fefya bwatini bale tifira wamana mwefibi bale salamo fira twaja twashimpike fiso mabareti na ifo motu ala mukwaina mwasanga na mayo ali kwa chapo abana ala nayo puma mufya bobe era bakakwishwa tuli muaume tetule tangala pa wana baba no yala bobe ifo twale muletela ala mukwaye mwalisha
Muno byali perfume na yo mwa.
Wale muletela omufundo ka chero tero vini. Kino tulanda litu mufundo na wa. Mwala mwene nsala ya lapona. Batilo kulanda kwa lyanguka. Kulanda kwa lyanguka. Tulefa tumone feshi emirimo. Mukwai imilandu twakwetera abanandi aba. Na ngumu aiche weswe washalamo. Na wile twala mubika masali. Wanzambia.
Mwisakamana ndebalwa. Ni uyu bafwaya teine. Nomba fyonse bakushe bampele. No ushari mwaka bamu. Ile lungula na menshimo.
Ndefa yantashe nabakalubulira wa milandu Yesu namumona abatwenda nabo abanandi ba MP bakulukasha na finole lelo twachiba nokuba munganda amafunde tuleisula bakula twipushe ero mufundo okesa nili bakwe bati twipushe kushenda mesho mulese ndokusende mindeke kutira mwe mutambo mupila ishabuteko shafumine kwi balefu atule kuteka milandu nomba tuleko nkana nabo mudemu tunakonkana nabo nemikotira twamupokera okuti aiwe mikodi yenu omulembo wakikuba opoke emigodi nabalungu bebere abantu balesenda mu bukumu nabesa balefu okushikana kabiri Firondela ndamungu mfuikishe Kadia kampani kandulula amafuta kundola Indeni Kali isalwa Ababa tazama nga mwatume patazama padia Tapali echo bale chitabeke Nombani shimini moya kwise Alandi no kubwela nomba Webena chinsalina mumu isakamana umwa iche wandikala lwe na uinele sala pale milandu iche shani lero nombe vinaka kulo omunyololo na alasunge fifulo fyonse mwino wena bantu ifo tatufilwa hapo okufilwa tapakabe ture umfoti bantu twabule miyongololo ture shinguluka kwa bufu ture
Ichikwanka
waneshe mwali mwene tulumendo twalesa muno twabule miyongololo turesa mukube pobufu mukoti mulya tebe vine mushekwera no mulandolo ule pata mwaishiwa kuti abantu balebe pavyo bufimu ala mfomo alewera no kuwera mukoti mubufu wachiramu mwebero uyu ni putu uyu kairi balo yanabona kwatani banyela waikala munshati muti bamungo obufi baisa bupasa ula mukoti bachenga mupele bana mayo ala mukwaina totere chine mwe sansala ubumwine bufyasha tutwa michongera bana mayo esana mwe sansala po tutotelwa mufaya mule mwono po chile chitika na bashita bene kwena yo na bakara turishimbi aba bibire bari bacha mwenso chinsali alatevo chali fino nombe chibipire mu chinsali mushera ba umechana kashi bangwira bulime bakapwepa kushaba bevi babale chitamuno mu chinsali kuti bali pokera omuntungwa bati venga bamfwe ya buluma apwisa mbali atwa ifo turefu ayo kwa kushamala twalistiko kubombere chalo turefu ave mkwai unowina turepema na bubale pema epoli awo bachepa koma feri mbinga batushika 6 feet wambala bopena hapo file mwabe kusha wanzambia atina kusalo kubo mubufi wandi mwibala ero ndefani mwebe mwe wantu wakwalesa indalama sha CDF shilatubomba nasho ifo malisho fo shibomba na tulangula masukulu ifipatala twala pitirisha nomba bale sungendalama bale leta notukulala ndapaka no titwali pere ndalama kwatale funya mutumba indalama sha chalo ero na ifo CDF nifo twasha Indalama shatambika twalishe ndalama teba vile turefu ashire Monica
kama ilo wakalacha zingula banefu yamona abantu your supporters to ask a few questions. And the first question that I may want to find out from you, how would you describe this entire process? Do you feel this was a just process, or you would term it as political, like we've heard from other stakeholders? That would be my first question. The second question, we've seen the changes being made in the judiciary. Some magistrates, some judges are being transferred to other parts of the country. Amid this, also the protests that are taking place by some other party sympathizers of the ruling party on allegations that the judiciary is filled with some politically aligned PF civil servants. What would be your take on those two things?
So refu ankwasuka muchinkuba ule na ngujafira abantu bale umfaku okay rala kwasuka bala muchinkuba ule kaibali insambirisha bena Shiwang'andu. First of all, this process has been very interesting. And I want to commend the judiciary through the subordinate court for adjudicating on this matter and ensuring that justice has prevailed. It's one thing for people to be tried in public perception, and it's another thing to be tried in the courts of law. I also want to thank my legal team of Senior Learned Counsel, George Tsanga, Honorable MP for Lukasha, and Mr. Rion Lemba, who have stood with me throughout this process. But what is disappointing, and I'm sending this message to the Inspector General of Police, who I know is a seasoned police officer, that he shouldn't allow his officers to bring his name into this disrespect. My advice to the Inspector General is to ensure that only competent officers are assigned to investigate cases. And I'm happy that he has continued these refresher courses to capacitate his officers, because some of his officers are extremely disappointing. This case is a classic example of how disappointing officers can be. How does a police officer who was not present when the event was taking place to come and investigate the matter without taking into account what the officers in this area had done, and decides to connive with a prime suspect, because the prime suspect has been identified. Even the court spoke to that. You were in court. This is a fellow who we punished as PF by not adopting him, because he was a councillor in another ward and went to cause havoc in a different ward. He is a person that they colluded with to bring him as witness to incriminate me. And mind you, I was Deputy Minister of Home Affairs at that point. And the command, the police command which was here, and I will ask former Deputy IG, Mr. Bon Capresso, to bear with me, because I have to single him out. He was a very famous police officer. He was the one who dealt with the situation here after he was alerted. And I spoke to him when I came into the area where there was network. Costa Mwansa, another professional journalist, he's the one who alerted me of what was going on. And when you ask him, he will speak to this. So to come and allege that I was in the area where this was happening is very unfortunate. But at the end of the day, we would like to see police who are firm. And Inspector General, please, I wouldn't want to see the professional police officers who came here to tell the truth get victimized. They gave the truth in the court, and the velocity of that truth was tested. Coming to the independence of the judiciary. Of course, we are getting concerned with the seemingly interference which is coming from the executive. As you know, judiciary is the sanctuary where everybody runs to. And even our colleagues in government have also depended on the judiciary. So the doctrine of separation of powers must be observed at all times. Judges are human beings. Magistrates are human beings. But they are professionals. And you cannot accept insinuations that some of the judges are cadres. Where does PF train judges? PF as a party doesn't train lawyers, doesn't train judges. Some of these judges started work long before PF came to government. How can you come and lump them as and brand them as cadres? It's very unfortunate. What you are saying is that all those that are joining now will be cadres of the ruling party. It shouldn't be like that. So let's allow the judiciary to operate independently. And as legislators, we shall ensure that we provide our oversight functions. So if judges have made mistakes, there are procedures that have to be followed. And they should not be short-circuited because of how you look at certain judges. So there is no judge that should be branded as a cadre because they are trained. I've never seen we scrutinize and ratify appointments of judges as parliament. There is no one who comes with a tag as a political party member. What they tender are their professional qualifications. That's all. So if they make mistakes, just as we all are bound to make mistakes, just even those in the executive are bound to make mistakes. Right now we are talking about an aeroplane which was hired and never variable. What processes were followed? And that comes to the other thing we are talking about, corruption. Corruption must be fought fairly. He who calls others to equity must come with clean hands. So if we as members of parliament, through the speaker, are given calendars every year, desktop and wall calendars, and diaries of all sizes. And when we're carrying those calendars, we carry them for everyone to see that we are carrying calendars from parliament as a member of parliament. And someone goes and collects a briefcase. And people suspect that briefcase could be carrying money. Why should it take the president to be the one to clear that suspect? We all would want to be called by the president to say, hello, is it true? Honorable Chitotela, you did this. No, I didn't do. Okay, you are cleared. It would be as simple as that. President Edgar Lungu would have been doing that himself. But he allowed his ministers to be taken to court. That's what we want to see, even in this current government. If someone hires a plane at $275,000 and another price is $200,000, who is trying to pocket the difference? So, corruption must be fought by those that are coming with clean hands. We should accept it. That's a comment. No bambula ndakopaka tina bantu bonfwe. Ndetila na tifile fya milandu. Kule kafile bombe mini mufibomba. Tekula beba ukula basokonsha nabo bene bantu balalufyanya. Nga balufyanya fyali tantiko kwali bo butantiko. Emo mufiro kubapisha. Bantu nabo bene bantu. Dimbite tuba kwati okola ndo kuti yosha chitefu na chitefu. Tubapereko mchinshi.
My last question is on the...
Elo kuya kufuntuntungu na chala nda bomfwe kwa bantu. Bakateka balungu Tavale tufona ko ifofwe banku babonga batira ne Milandu baletira kaye ku koti imilandu ikateshani ikapwe nomba bambi baletira yo kukutumina fe phone usheni ndalama wasendere na ngufi pepala ati yo mkwali bakateka na sendere pepala tumulandu wapo ushe kwali befaini evyo turetira pela abo muchisha chinani.
Yes, we wanted to find out the status quo in as far as the recruitment of over 40,000 civil servants are concerned. We have seen some backlashes around Southern Province as well as Mushindano district, where some senior members or senior government officials want this process to be deemed null and void and begin again.
My take on that is that let's take governance matters seriously. We were in government and we were recruiting. Did you see that drama? We were in government and we were recruiting doctors, we were recruiting teachers, and we were recruiting other public service workers. Did you see that drama? Did you see that drama? So what you are seeing is organized confusion. That's how I can describe it. Organized confusion. You don't know who's doing what. Whether the minister is now the employer or it's a technocrat to do the job. That's a problem we have. Or maybe it's a president. So the problem we have is lack of capacity to govern properly. That's what we are seeing.
Yeah.
Chipante. Because when things are structured, the processes are very clear. So you can't start looking at names of people. No, these names we have seen here don't come from here. What are you using? No, these names are not ours. Come and get our names. What kind of nation are we running? We are saying one Zambia, one nation. People can be employed from anywhere. Piri. You as a name, we can't say, oh, you Piri, you can't be recruited from here in Uchinga. What kind of thinking is that? They were saying they would, by now people would have been working. Recruitment could have concluded in January. What is this month? June. We are going to July. They are saying bring the list back. It's organized confusion. Mukwai chimule mfale pisho murumendo. Chakutila. Imi ingishe she abantu batwale ingisha abantu. Nomba tumfira chikula lo ishapa mashina. Eko walo le shapo kutaya mashina te yakuno te tubengishe nchito. Charo cha musango nshicho. Kashi mkwai mangalo. Ukufiro ata kuchilapa. Ala na mwaiche batira mukoro wa mina akamulingire. Nga wamono mwaiche wa mutuike chintu ale tarantantare chitefu. Mutuleko. Waishi bachichafina. So tuli pembela pa standby kuti twabafu. Twabafu hapo extendo. Bantu batira kaowele. Akaowele. Kairi mano oliweka. So bamano kanjikwa tile. Twala munopo balafika. Baka ibutukira fyabeni. One Zambia, one nation. Ala lekeni kalakatimbo munandu ya mukosheko. Infumu hii eba fikukirensa kwefya ifya bunduru ila. Kanshi nangu na wisa na mumunga kabufi. Wisa akapasa wa shala na. Ero ni wa MP. Kanshi osheni kwa abantu batsanga weso alabale talanta sho mumusebo. Akaka lumendo kambi kanyera ka. Kafaile no kufira mumusebo mu. Mubusanso. Na ino isatakalambo kwenda bwino kwena. Lero ture monoputatu tukolorere bwino kale bombere chalo. Ona butsanga.
Na totela ba MCC mwapoleni mwana Shiwang'andu. Kwebera chimisali mwapoleni. Ikulu bali Rwanda bane kufa afa ko mitasha. Alo yumuntu na mpera support sana. Iyi nkondo ngatayi kumanisha ngale iso mwineke. Lelo akamana pakupoma babantu mwali mona timbonse mwabalaisa kuno ni mwalenga takwata na maka ya kulansha ifachilanda pano mwa mpela maka ni mwebeni uyu mulandu efunalandira na pakubala wali mulandu wa Lufyengo bonse mwabena Shiwang'andu mwali mwene fyashitike ku Shiwang'andu padendeka ya ishi tetusende fyashitike pala pandeka mwakanta ikabantu mulanda bali fokona olendeke ndele fyashitike bonse bali ifimona ulu gwali Lufyengo fye bamufyengere fye mnyinane oyu na bonse wa 6 abachifunyako kumulandu na wafyengere fye leo ndepo amishisha pa butatu tukwati na wewe twasha mukoti Andrew Kampyongo tukesa lubulula tukapela fishinka vyafene fyachitika kesa lubulula mwine tukasha kuchilie bakesa landefika konkapo ine ngaloya wako ni kwata chitekeo chako bati fyachitika kuli Kampyongo mukalamba na kule Andrew efika chitika ndepo afe milombe kwa ati mwikatane mwe na Shiwang'andu na mmone fyachitike po twaluso buteko batukonka fe wanyo bwachano bwaida emina ntashirepwa balepo atufire okubomba nomba pandi kwetu bombera mu bantu tukachita fyonse firefa wako kuchitika fyatwa chite promise fya ma CDF na fyonse fya kubomba po Stephen Mukalamba andi ma politics kali ayingiroyo ali Shiwang'andu efa bomba na imwe bantu bangu mumwisha support sana kafira pali 5 years ya isapwe aba bantu nachimoneka pa butatu tukubati efa bale tulaya nefa bale chita na fipusana ifale famule isa kuno bale famule pose nshita kuno mwira mune fale firo kubomba mu constituency mye nomba bampaturako uwakayele oli wonse bampatura kumulanda wiba mpatura ko bampana nshita kwa tabwele nomba ku constituency atambe kula mura abantu bakwe ndipo afemito telesana pakufa pansha mtima wandi twalienda pano ntamfu na tuenda limbinangu 15 times ukuza mkulu wa mlandu wa Kampyongo ndiye mone vumbalisa lionse ila kulira kofi hapana alikuwa no kukulevumba na mona pano kulange chinga kwa ati MP wenu mwali mutemwa mwali pano muchinshi mulepo amibombele ine kuto terafe kuliresa era bamusendele Stephen bamusendele kwa tika bwalana kwati muntu ashaina minister of home affairs kulango bato palapele pakutamba kwa mulanda twashemu bapapa tawakapokola kuche osonoto bati bile batwikete uyu muntu ani boss wenu ero kulamule muntu ani constituency yako lekena zende motoka yako aya isteri report mwente chabu tukwe mulanda kushikwa na mulanda but mulanda wakati bale fo kumusevanya fefe ne bamuchitire babika na pa camera pafuka pa TV vyalangi kate fale muchiteve efale fo ati fimoneke no mama mwana efuka bakayele te uyu nafuma ndeshe mupombe milimo na byonse fikesa ifwenga ba PF twala imina ngaba nganda imo tatwachitenga chisangana kwa tomulandu Stephen amkufisa mawo kala ima inenga na kwate icha shupa akulaisa kumwandi naenda ngakate cha shupa ngecha chitia unakulaisa kuno shaleke na 5 years ngatukalaisa final yonse fia tatwana kefa baranka abaranka nivenda ifuta libombeli abantu PF ya bombela fya limoneka miseba abantu bala mona bipatala bala mona maskulu bala mona so nangu bachitepe bala chitata twaleke okulanda kuma politics ifamuka kulako mnyinane twalawa na ku parliament na besu bayenga ndama tukasangwa mwana ono wene mulunguno tukamukulanda efe mwatu tumakuli yako ya mukulanda neste mwatu wingisha mukutisha fe chitemwiko mulete mwana fele mulete mwana ngapato bele basata na wayetu galungu ichapanga PF chitemwiko defi umayo lecho yabela party yabalanda tibalanda ifwe epo twaishwe political party yesu lelo tulefa tubombeshye tuikatenkaso tusunshire mpapa tumekesho kwa 2026 abakala vota bakebushe fe patriotic front ya chiti bakalinganya ne bakafira okuchita abantu abo chikabe changuka sana ngamwaye katano kubomba from 2026 mukwana mtu wetera sana pale Joseph Mwabo
Nesura mayo mfiraini atushumva patunono echo balela ndacha kutila ushirwila mutembo wa munankwe iforo twaishire mu buteko twasangire kapasa makasaida ya shere nsansalila kushata twapuishi chefi mwala tashano kutashatini na wotu mise wotu tushila potu baila ngiolu kula epo mukabeshi bila telwa vinaini kushewe mwamere msongole torokero po asanga babomba kibata mwamyo Wanzambia mukwai ala ko mitote la fena kabiri ukusefya tapali lelo kusefya twala sefya miri momo alinjishi ine kukonkana ne miri kusefya bantu na mwiswe finale firo kubombo kufunguluka weno nichive nakosa kwenana ili mwadishwa daturi wakuni kakani mwekufu umunandi atiratira barevo okunsebanya nomba ule musebanya bushebu inena alisakamana sakamene nokusakamana tapale echo wakawinamo mwebanjishibani mwatini echo nakwatira amakaka ili umuntu kwishopo waiminina so nangu bachitevo bale chitaba bepefya kubepa tula kursa fenge vinto ala kuntobunga mwatiso chapo walaya wala bombe milimo ucha mwenze wotwaka ucha mwenze wotwata shani na mwewa PF alande milomba kudu tulumendo tule shinguluka kutuwe muntu tawabala wako na kansel echo tule kwa tilobu afya ukwesha esha itubutungulushi tule esha satelo aisheti ambe kateka nishina mumone milimu abo mba muchalo nomba ka muntu tapaba ne kwa chita ala ne nsala nayo ibi ala tuileke nsala ile tupingula iwe kampingu mwe bantu kuti muntu tapali ne pwa imini na ibele ni kwataka pani na ifo bene babiri kutwapanga ka pani twalala dalo hao mara tola kano kuti otupani neshina tamwishi ala mulera muli bachimbwika yupe mukukonka konke ala mule konka na bachimbwika yupe bantu kulefu mendalama na kupusana ichishinkane chichetekelo chali bashani kashi mkwa ina totele chine na raisa nomba mkumpempu na wino wakutila tukonka nene mbili ala bashani wewa ale kusho kutia kusho kule ala wilati na waifishe febu
Ukraine Daddy bawes namu ishwa findachta kairi nga walufyanya kukuripota lukulu sada imnagisi mayo ukerana tule kogulila kati watu kansa tulinaiza zeshi tule kogulila bantu tatarumba namuka Oja guardaka pali Uwa upana ko nishewi Bakeo na ule upana kono nombe Ulatume karo jobe kuline Ulatume karo jobe kuline Imbapo tena Ulatume karo jobe kuline Laila kenu mayandi Ulatume karo jobe kuline Tumbe palo jove kuline, yo se